Okay, I think we'll call the meeting to order. This is the Murray City Council. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Dave is going to lead us in that.
Would the audience please stand? And appropriate signal. Please repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, Dave. We'll now move to the second item on the agenda, the approval of minutes. I believe I have a motion on that.
Yes, I would make a motion to defer the minutes until our next meeting in May.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motioned and seconded. Thank you, Diane.
Do a voice vote?
Yeah, let's take a voice vote on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's see, we have a special recognition this evening. It's going to be the Murray City Council Employee of the Month. It's Glenn Lundberg, a Murray City Generation Substation Supervisor. We'll ask Councilman Brett Hales and Blaine Hackey to
Glenn,
present.
if you'd come up. Is this on? Yep, it's on. I can't hear myself. Come on up here, Glenn. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
We've heard you like this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You like attention.
My favorite thing.
Like a Bruce. Yeah, well, we're glad to have you here. And I'm looking at this. Is this a mistake or is that correct?
We're in that year.
Are you? Wow, that's impressive. 39 years. My goodness, almost as old as Doug Hill. So we are. This is a wonderful thing. We started this program a few years ago, Employee of the Month, and we'll have Blaine will get up here and go through a few things. But as a council, we wanted to show appreciation to you, especially 39 years. That is amazing, but we appreciate it. And Blaine has a lot of compliments I was reading through, and the one thing that Blaine wrote that I thought was pretty cool, and I hope I don't steal your thunder, but he said that you were Glenn, that you were a great leader, but you're also a great follower. And I thought that's a cool thing. You know, sometimes you get all these leaders and there's no followers, and you can't learn anything new. So I thought that was a really excellent compliment when I read that. But we as a council present you with the certificate. We'll have your name, Glenn, on the back with two N's, right?
Yes, it
Double
is.
N. We'll have that back there, and then we present you with a $50 Visa gift card too.
Great. Well, thank you.
So thank you so much. We appreciate it. Glenn, you got paper.
Occasionally, the Power Department gets the opportunity to recognize some of our employees, and appreciate the City Council letting me talk about Glenn. When I asked my senior staff members, Greg and Bruce, that are both here today, of who we could recognize as Employee of the Month, they both gave me two names, and they both had Glenn Lundberg as one of their two names. I thought that's an easy choice. Glenn not only has been a follower and a leader, as Brett mentioned, but he's been very loyal. And I think that's pretty important to have a loyalty. Glenn, I think you've had 4 general managers. You were John Young and John Molman, Gary, and now you're sided with me. And a lot of different personalities have gone through that department in 39 years. 29 years. 39 years. And Glenn has always been loyal. He's been very supportive. He's been a quiet, yet people look up to him. When he was hired in December of 1977, he was hired as an apprentice electrician, and he made $4.70 an hour. Since then, he's always been along the electrical. He went through the apprenticeship program. He was eventually a journeyman technician, a journeyman electrician, and since 1999, he's been the lead worker. So that's quite a few years to be a leader, since 1999. He's involved with all of our substation maintenance, as well as rebuilds we've had to do throughout the years. I think the hardest part of his job, as well as our technician jobs, is to stay on top of the technology. You think things have changed since 1977, Glenn, to right now. If you hadn't stayed up on top of the technology, you'd have been out. So to Glenn's kudos, he's been able to stay on top of those things and show management where we needed to make changes as far as remote supervisory Think of the security now that goes into substations that we didn't have to do 20 years ago. Glenn's involved with that as well. I really appreciate his support, and if he can go another 39, I'll let him. There's no reason to think about retirement. Glenn is fit. He's a man. He's what do you call that? CrossFit or whatever. He's a CrossFit guy, and so he can stay another 10 if he wants. Glenn, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Anything to do?
Thank you, Blaine. Congratulations, Glenn. We'll now move to a matter Doug Hill will be presenting. The Utah Recreation and Parks Association has named Murray City Parks and Recreation as the Outstanding Department Class 2. Doug? Oh, the mayor's going to handle that. Thank you, Mayor.
From a little investigation and hard work that Janet Towers did recently, she discovered a little bit about Murray Park that I previously didn't know. Murray Park was established in 1918, if you can imagine that. And then after it was established, it really wasn't started its development until 1924. But since then, it's developed into a first-class park. Throughout all of Utah, it's recognized as one of the best parks in the entire state. So last month, the Utah Recreation and Parks Association selected Murray as the Outstanding Department Class 2 city and presented this plaque to the representatives from the Murray Parks Department in recognition of that. And we would like to have every person that's here tonight that's involved with the Murray Parks Department, if they would please stand, and we can recognize you and acknowledge you through clapping. We appreciate what you do and the beauty that you bring into our community and all the activities that you bring into we are just so proud of that park. We can't express it enough. So I'd like to re-present this to Doug.
And I just want to take a minute also, along with the mayor, and say thanks to all of the staff that make Murray Parks and Recreation such a great place to work and a great provider of services to our citizens. Almost everywhere I go, and it's been this way for all the years that I've worked for the city, people talk about what Murray Parks and Recreation does, the facilities that we have. It takes support and effort from everybody, the council, from the mayor, but really it's all of these people that are here tonight that deserve the credit, and it's been my honor and privilege to be able to work side by side with them, and I just want to say thanks to all of you.
Thank you, Doug.
Excuse me.
Yes, please, Diane.
I'd just like to make a comment. As someone who spends a lot of time at the Park Center, I just really appreciate the staff there, and as a result, I'm also at the park a lot. But anyway, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for all you do, and you're just great, so thank you.
Yeah, I would echo that. We live on the Parkway, and they do an outstanding job maintaining that facility. It's probably better than any other stretch of the Parkway that I goes into other cities, so appreciate that. We'll now have an item that the mayor will be presenting. It's a joint resolution of the mayor and municipal council of Murray City declaring Friday, May 8th, 2016 as Murray Arbor Day.
Was that a wrong day?
May 6th.
And for the record, it's May the 6th. We've had the opportunity to do this for longer than any other city in Utah. This is the 39th consecutive year that we have been honored to be Tree City USA recipient. And when we go to the state awards for that, there's always representations from every other city there that are receiving recognition for being members of that for 10 years, 12 years, 15, as many as 20 years, and then they say, and Murray City has been in first place for 39 years. So it's a real thrill for us to be able to do this. Normally, and probably for all 39 years, Jim Hendrickson has been here to hear this resolution and to receive this resolution, but unfortunately, Jim's not in the best of health right now, and so he's unable to be here. So I'd like to read this resolution, if you wouldn't mind, and then I'd like to present it to Janelle Nelson, who is here representing this Arbor Day resolution tonight, and I need my glasses on for this. This is a joint resolution of the Mayor and the Municipal Council of Murray City, Utah, declaring Friday, May the 6th, 2016, as Murray Arbor Day. Whereas Arbor Day is observed throughout the nation and the world on April the 29th, 2016, as trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas no exact value can be placed on a tree, as the true value is in the eye of the beholder and the psychological, emotional, and spiritual relationship between people and trees is far-reaching and complex. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas in preparing for the future, Murray City is committed to managing the confined spaces along streets and near buildings so we can have peaceful coexistence between trees, utilities, buildings, and people. And whereas Murray City Shade Tree and Beautification Commission has as its primary objective the beautification of our city by promoting the planting and care of trees and vegetations that will continually add beauty and value to our community, making a more enjoyable and desirable place to work, play, and live. As a Tree City USA, now for 39 years, we are reminded that Murray is a city without equal. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and the Municipal Council of Murray City do hereby declare Friday, May 6, 2016 as Murray Arbor Day, and urge all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, to plant trees that will gladden the hearts and promote the well-beings of this and future generations while beautifying our city, and to join with us in our annual Arbor Day celebration held in Murray Amphitheater Park at noon. Passed and approved and adopted by the Mayor and the City Council of Murray on this day, the 19th of April 2016. You can correct me if I need to wait till I say it's until you vote on it.
We're okay.
Okay?
We're okay.
So if that's all right, it's already been signed by myself and every member of the council, and I'd like to present this to Janelle at this time. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you. I've been on the Shade Tree Commission for 3 years now, and I just want to say it's just a wonderful committee to be involved in and to work with Jim. And I'm sorry he can't be here tonight to accept this, and so I'm here in his behalf. So I just like to accept that for them, and we're looking forward to Arbor Day in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd move adoption of the joint resolution of the Mayor and Municipal Council of Murray City, Utah, declaring Friday, May 6, 2016 as Murray Arbor Day.
Thank you, Councilman.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
Aye.
Mr. Brass?
Aye.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Held?
Aye.
Aye. We're now at the section of our agenda where we take citizen comments. These are comments that are limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise approved by the council. If you're here for another agenda item, an item that's listed on our agenda, you'll want to wait for that item before you share. You'll have an opportunity to speak relative to that item when we come to it. Otherwise, is there any citizens here this evening that have a purpose in speaking? Okay. If you'll state your name and your address for the record, we'd appreciate that.
I was about to do all that on this. My name is Ralph Weaven. I think we've spoken on the phone. I live at 1033 West Sunbury. over by the Parkway. And what else? Ralph Wieben, I gave you that, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I'm actually wanting to ask about 3 issues tonight. I'm not here to speak out on anything. Like I said, I live by the Parkway, and I've noticed 3 of the trash containers have vanished over there. There's 1 still remaining at a junction in the trail. I have 2 bags in my pocket right now. I'm picking up trash over there all the time. Why are we taking out trash cans? And the other question I have talked to you about, sir, that I find it curious, if you go down that roadway heading into Germania, as you approach the sign, there's a fence over here, and it's beautiful green all the way down there. Problem is, for the past 2-3 blocks, it's been a blight. I live on that part, and I talked to Mr. Nick Ponsky about his sign last election season. And that's when I found out that it's not mine, it's the city's. And I want to know why the city likes to make it pretty from the sign forward and not before that. I'll continue to pick up the trash, but I'd appreciate something being done about that.
Okay.
I had a 3rd item, and I only remembered 2.
What about the road?
Pardon?
The road?
The roadway, I'm just talking
Yeah.
about the parkway, actually.
Okay, just the parkway, not-
what do you call it? The park strip.
Okay.
It's the
I
area
gotcha.
between the residence fences and the roadway,
Okay.
and it's beautiful for my neighbor on down, and it's nothing before that.
Okay. Thank you.
And the trash cans. I was
Right,
curious about
got
the 3
that.
trash cans.
Okay.
And as soon as I sit down, I'll remember the 3rd item.
All right. Well, if you
All
do,
right,
come
thanks.
back up. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. Any other? Okay.
I got a chuckle.
All right.
I looked at our chief of police, and I remember the other issue.
Okay.
As I said, I walk the parkway. I have German Shepherds and Huskies. I'm out there walking all the time, all hours of the day and night. I've been in the military. I've lived around. Well, I've been around a little bit. The most I've seen happen in that parkway is people sneaking cigarettes down by the river, and them I just asked to take their butts along. I'm curious. I've been seeing these signs all over the place. Stop your drug dealing. We see you, and all this. That's cool. I like a neighborhood watch, and I'll be a part of it, but I don't like the signs getting stuck on, public benches and stuff like that, or on the trees. They should be here talking to this gentleman and call me. I'm serious. I live over there with a German Shepherd, and if I saw something, I'd be calling him. But I've seen nothing.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Joseph Brialt. I'm running actually for the Utah State Legislature for District 40, which most of my district does not encompass Murray, but a small portion of it does. And so I just wanted to kind of come here and hear what some of the issues were, and make an appearance and say that I do care. So again, my name is Joseph Brialt, and I'm glad to be here and to listen to the needs and concerns of possibly some of the constituents within my district. So thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. All right. See no others that choose to comment, we'll move on to the next item on our agenda. This will be a confirmation of the mayor's appointment of Sue Wilson to the Murray City Planning and Zoning Commission, representing District 2 for a 3-year term to expire January 15th, 2019. Mayor Iyer presenting.
Thank you very much, Dave. I appreciate that. And I'd like to ask for your consideration for a confirmation of Sue Wilson. She is here in the audience tonight. Sue, if you'd like to stand, that'd be great. And I've had the opportunity to meet with Sue and go over her application for this. She's been an office manager. She's worked with a development firm and investment firm. She loves the city. She's lived here since 1981, I believe it was, 1981. Moved here and has determined to live here for the rest of her life by buying some plots in our great cemetery. So, we had a wonderful interview, and I think she'll be a great addition to the planning and zoning. And so, I would like to offer up her name for your consideration for confirmation.
Thank you, Mayor. Is this a group vote, Jennifer, or do we take roll?
No, it's
This, I'd like to, this is District 2, and I know Sue, and I'm really pleased to have Sue on the Planning and Zoning Commission and representing District 2, so thank you for your willingness to serve there, Sue, and I would move approval of the confirmation of the consent agenda.
Okay,
I'll second
thank you. Thank you. Moved and seconded.
Aye.
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 Did they really tell you what the job's about? I haven't been the same since, and I served 12 years ago. I still wake up nightmares. Just saying.
It's effective.
It was so bad I
Jim.
became
Yeah.
a council member. Can't recover from that.
All right.
No,
We've been able
it's
to
a great,
recover.
it's a great. I really enjoyed it. You learn a lot about the city. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for being willing to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. We'll now consider an ordinance amending sections 13.30.050, section 13.30.100, and section 13.30.150 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to groundwater source protection, recharge areas, and protection zones. Doug Hill, please.
So the city has a property located up near the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon, referred to as McGee Springs, which provides one of the largest amounts of water into our drinking water system in the city. And we recently moved the well at that location so that we can actually produce more water. Around each well, whether it's this one or any other well in the city, there are what are called protection zones. And these protection zones are put in place to prevent somebody from developing or building something that would be harmful to the water system. For example, you wouldn't want to locate a gas station next to or on top of a well. Another area of concern is locating septic systems, and there are many other uses, of course, that you would want to put close to wells. And so you have these protection zones that radiate away from the wells and regulate what can be built within these protection zones. At McGee Springs, by virtue of us moving the location of the well, we have affected some adjacent properties that want to develop, build houses, even put in some septic systems. And so we had to take a look at our ordinance and find the proper language which would still allow somebody to develop property that they own, but at the same time would protect the well from any potential contaminants that could migrate over years to the aquifer. And so what we have done is we have proposing in this ordinance tonight language that would only be pertinent in this area of McGee Springs, that would allow somebody whose property is located in more than one protection zone to be able to put in a septic system in the least restrictive protection zone, as long as it was far enough away from our well. And furthermore, as long as the Salt Lake Valley Health Department were to approve the septic system, which they do for all septic systems in Salt Lake County. So that's what we're presenting to you tonight is amended language that would allow this to happen. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, no questions for Doug? Thank you, Doug.
Maybe just a comment. We had the opportunity to have our questions answered in the committee of the whole meeting, so we're well briefed on this, so thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, we'll now move to the second public hearing phase. We will hear a consideration of an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year.
Do we need to vote on
Whoops. I'm sorry.
So we'll open up for public.
Oh, okay. We'll now open it up for public hearing. We'll have staff and sponsor presentations along with public comment prior to council action on the following matter. Consider an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2015-16.
We got to finish the public hearing on the first item.
Oh, I thought, okay. Do we have any citizen comments?
We do.
Okay, I apologize. My apologies. If you'll state your name and address, be appreciated.
Max Reese, 977 East 5600 South. I'm the secretary of Little Cottonwood Tanner Ditch, and when we read in the newspaper code relating to the groundwater source protection recharge areas and protection zone, since we're probably responsible for most of the recharge in Murray with our irrigation water, we thought we would stop by and just see what was going on. I just wanted, since I was here, I just thought I would say that. As far as what you're doing up on McGee Springs, that's a different area and so on. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Ralph Waben again, 1033 West Sunbury again. I didn't come intending to speak on this. I'm just a nosy ex-pre-med. So we currently allow septic systems in Murray proper? Well, I'm curious, you said that this would allow someone to develop their property to include a septic system, and I'm from Minnesota and farms, and I'm going, ding, 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 wait a minute, my drinking water in septic tanks? I don't like this plan.
Maybe you want to get with Doug afterwards, okay?
Well, this
If you
was
have
for
questions.
public comment is why I'm
Well,
asking.
then make the public comment up here. He's not going to open it up to questions. If you want to talk to him afterwards, you can do that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any more citizen comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to the next item on the agenda. What's that? Okay, we'll now take a vote on the ordinance considering an amendment to the sections named.
Okay, I'll move to adopt an ordinance, the ordinance amending sections 13.30.050, 13.30.100, and 13.30.150 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to groundwater source protection, recharge areas, and protection zones.
Thank you, Diane.
I'll second that.
Could I just make one clarification?
Please do, Frank.
You know, that in answer to his question, this deals with those wells that we have outside of our jurisdiction. So we do prohibit it within our jurisdiction. These are unique situations where we have a well that we have to protect, and these are outside of our jurisdiction. Just want to clarify
and there
that.
are properties with existing septic systems up there.
There are,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Well, that's the answer. So, okay. Now can we move to the ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2015?
Got to vote. Need to vote still.
Okay, let's vote. Yeah, all right.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. I'm going to try it one more time. We'll now consider an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2015-2016 budget. Brenda Moore presenting.
So the following budget amendments are before you to be changed in our fiscal year 2016 budget. The first one is we would like you to authorize $649,702, which have been restricted from the state for 13th East, to add to this year's budget so that they can do these projects. Originally, this money was from the state. We thought it could be used for Vine and for 13th East. It could not. So the county helped us with the Vine projects. They have now identified more projects they can do on 13th East and would like to do that. So those funds are coming from the capital projects restricted funds that we have had in fund balance. The Murray City Park, we would like to have an additional $50,000 so that we can install a wireless internet access system throughout the entire park. We originally were going to do it in pieces. It turns out it will save us a substantial amount of money if we do it all at once, and so we need an extra $50,000. That will be funded through general sales tax. We had a few huge snowstorms this year. They all seem to occur on Christmas and/or holidays and weekends. So we have some overtime budgets that have been stretched, and we need to increase our funds in the general fund, stormwater, water fund, and wastewater fund to cover these overtimes for snow removal. They will be paid for through reserves, which is why we have reserves. So on these years, we can continue to operate as we need to. The Streets Division has proved that also. They broke the back of a backhoe, and they need $25,000 to repair it. It would cost $140,000 to buy a new one, and they are perfectly fine with just repairing the one that they have. Retained risk, we have a settlement that is possible for $190,000, and we need to put that in the budget so we can pay that when and if it does happen. That will be coming from our retained risk reserves, which we have built up to cover just this scenario. Our auditors have asked that we move our lease payments for our IBM AS400 from the capital projects fund into the general fund. So we have a budget amendment here to do that so that the general fund can make that payment. The general fund is also going to would like to move $500,000 from the general fund to the Murray Parkway Golf Fund to be used for a new irrigation system. The Parkway has saved a substantial amount of money, but we would like to get that sprinkler system in. The current one that they have the maintenance on it is substantial, and at any moment we may not have a green golf course. So, and the other thing is if anyone remembers, the golf course paid for the Murray Parkway to be developed, and they used some of their reserves and their money that they were building up to do that. So the general fund feels it is appropriate to give them some money for their sprinkling system. The other thing is we would like to transfer $30,000 from the redevelopment fund to the capital projects fund to help pay for the fire clay intersection light. I guess the county is out 1.5 years, and to do it privately, it's going to cost us an extra $30,000. So we would like to get that accomplished for traffic congestion purposes. There is also an opportunity to do a stormwater project on 45th South and Commerce before some redevelopment that takes place, and we would like to use $215,000 of reserves for that, so we can get it done before development, which will save us money in the long run. And the last one is we would like you to adjust the general fund reserve target rate down to 24% from 25%. This is so that because we have increased the amount of sales tax that we are collecting, we don't need or want to have a 25% general fund reserve. We would like to lower it a little bit. It's still high enough to cover what we need, but we don't want to have the extra in there. And that also allows us, the finance department, to move that without you've already given us pre-authority to move that at the end of the year. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Brenda.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Please.
Brenda, what is the cap on reserves?
25%.
So it is 25. And what's the low? 6?
Yeah.
5?
5, 6.
Okay.
We're never down there. So.
I know we're never down there. It's kind of nice, and it's nice to be where we're at. So thanks, Brenda.
Thank you, Councilman Hales. Okay. Do we have any public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll come back to the council.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2015-2016 budget as listed.
I'll second that.
Motion is seconded.
Aye.
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 Aye. Seeing no unfinished business, we'll now move to new business. Consider a resolution approving an interlocal cooperation agreement between the city and Murray City School District for mutual use of facilities. Doug, would you like to present on that?
Thank you. I believe everybody here is aware of the great relationship that Murray City has with the Murray School District, particularly in relationship to using each other's facilities. The school district has facilities that the city uses that saves us money because we don't have to go out and build gymnasiums and soccer fields. And on the other hand, the city has facilities that the school district uses that they don't have to go out and build baseball diamonds and softball diamonds and soccer fields as well. So we share each other's facilities. And this agreement, we've had an agreement with the Murray School District, by the way, for probably 30 plus years. This is an updated agreement that formalizes current policies and practices of the city and the school district, and allows the city to have priority use of school district facilities when they're not using them, allows the school district to have priority use of city facilities when we are not using them. The school board has already approved this agreement and has signed it. If you approve it this evening, then we'll have the mayor sign it and we'll operate under the agreement going forward.
Thank you, Doug. You've done an excellent job crafting that agreement. We appreciate it.
Now, thanks to Frank's office as well. Yep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Frank. Any comments from the council?
No, I'll move to adopt the resolution approving an interlocal cooperative agreement between the city and Murray City School District for mutual use of facilities.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
Aye.
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 Aye. Now move to the mayor's report.
Only about 3 items tonight. One is, in case you didn't know, I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but we're kind of very sad and reluctant to report the fact that David Grauer will be leaving IMC Hospital as the administrator over there. He's been the administrator since 2004, and I've had the privilege of knowing him for several years, even prior to that, when he was over at Cottonwood Hospital. Knew him as the administrator over there. David Grauer has been a friend of this city and has cooperated with the development and everything he can to coordinate efforts between IMC and the city of Murray. So we reluctantly wish him well in his new endeavors. I think he's going to be going to work for some tech firm, probably medically related, I'm not sure. In any regards, within the month, I think we found this out last week, and I think he gave a 30-day notice or something on that. So we'll be losing a great asset here in our city and a wonderful person with David Grauer. Speaking of wonderful people, you're all familiar with Linda Brown, who is the person behind Kids Eat that puts all those backpacks together. She has now have a facility over here at Creekside School. She's doing 100 backpacks a week for these kids to take home over the weekend, and in expanded facilities over there. And we're looking forward to having another food drive for her in August again of this year. So just wanted to recognize Linda Brown and the fact that she has moved her facilities over here to facilitate this increase in backpacks over here at Creekside School. The last thing is just a reminder that this Friday at 10:15 we'll be doing the shakeout drill, where we drop, cover, and hold. However, in the city offices here, we'll be expanding that to where we actually evacuate the building and then do a head count of everybody outside to make sure everybody's accounted for. And that's why we'll be doing it here. So if there's any questions for me, other than that, that's all I had for the mayor's report this evening.
Any questions for the mayor? Okay. That will adjourn.